afternoon. Yeah, March 12th or 11th already. Good grief, where's the time going? At 2 o'clock. So, Sam, if you'll throw the flag up for us, and everybody will do our best as we can on this call, as usual, to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh. No flag? We don't need a flag. Everybody should have a flag. There we go. Okay, I knew she'd get it. All right, ready? I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all. Yay. Always looks and sounds a little messy, but that's okay. All right, do I have someone willing to give the invocation today, please? If not, I'm sure our vice chair will do that for us.
Am I muted, Madam Chair? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Heavenly Father, we come before you as servants of our country and our community. We ask that you guide this meeting and let it be productive to those in need. We ask that you continue to bless our community and the veterans within it and those that service our veterans. And we ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. All right, Bruce, have you got a good handle on the roll call?
Yes, I do, Madam Chair. I finally have it right here in front of me.
Okay, awesome.
Right.
Well, let's move right into approval of the February 11th, 2021 meeting minutes.
Madam Chair, did you want to do a roll call first?
Did you want to do a roll call, or are you just going to take the names? It's your choice.
Let me just do a quick roll call.
Okay.
48 alternate Steve Sledgers. American Legion Post 44 primary Darren Wirtz. John Rose, excuse me. American Legion Post 168, nobody at this time. American Legion Post 176, Michael Gibson. Les Schreiber.
Yes, here.
Okay, Michael Gibson. Well, Les Schreiber's here. American AMVETS Post 6, John Lovejoy.
Here.
Dennis Pratt.
Excuse.
DAV Chapter 4, Board Secretary Bruce Moss here. Korean War Veterans Association, no report. Marine Corps League 826, primary Steve Sledgers is here, John Stoffel. VFW Post 4278, Shannon Roberts. Dana Difford. VFW Post 7824, Vice Chair Michael Harding.
Yep.
VFW Post 12028, David Daly. Vietnam Veterans 512 is Greg Whitson here.
No.
Okay. Yeah, he is. Members at large, Board Chair Kelly Jones.
Here.
Jim Jensen. Michael Langsdorff.
Here.
Kevin Lawson. Brian McGillis. Brian's here. Tanya Wark from PIC, is she here? Not here yet. Clark County Representative Samantha Whitley is here. And then Veterans Assistance Center, John Russell, Sharon Tyre. Is there any other guest? Would you please state your name for the record?
BVA President Nick Herbert.
Yes, this is Mallory. Where did I am?
All right. Is there
Hi,
anybody else?
Is Steve Gill with the Washington State Veterans Affairs.
All right. We got a guest from WDVA again. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Anybody else?
Donna Edwards.
Not John Russell. Extension. Mallory, where did that Steve?
Okay, Valerie Griffith, our local DBOP for Vancouver. If there's anybody else, I'm going to go ahead and just turn this over back to the Madam Chair.
Bruce, you skipped me.
Who did I miss?
Nick Herbert, President VVA.
All right, your VVA 512 will be Nick Herbert. Okay, gotcha, Nick. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
That's all, Madam Chair. We have a quorum.
All right, let's move back to approval of the February 11th meeting minutes. Were there any issues, concerns, changes, corrections, whatever to the minutes? If not, can I have a motion to approve the minutes as written?
Motion to approve.
Anybody second that?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Aye.
Nope. All right, motion approved for minutes. All right, next up, we have our WDVA County Service Officer update with Stephen Gill from WDVA. Welcome, Steve. You have the,
Thank you for having me.
I would say floor, but you know, hey. You have the computer.
Terrific. Thank you very much. My name's Steve Gill. I'm the Veteran Services Administrator with your Washington State Department of Veterans Affairs. I'm joining you from Olympia today. I'm in the office, and normally we wear a mask, but I sealed myself off so I could talk to you guys without the mask for a moment. So what I thought I would do is just provide you a brief update on the partnership that we have with Clark County, Vietnam Veterans of America, and the Clark County Veterans Assistance Center for Veteran Service Officer Services. It's a unique partnership. It really is, because we only have 2 of these agreements in the state that allow the county and the state to collaborate, where the state provides essentially contract management services to subcontract for a veteran service officer. And in this case, the Vietnam Veterans of America is our partner there in Clark County with you guys. You probably know the service officers pretty well, Aaron and Diane over there at the Clark County Veterans Assistance Center. So I just want to acknowledge that unique partnership between Clark County, WDVA, Vietnam Veterans of America, and the Clark County Veterans Assistance Center. Going on 2 years now. You're looking at the data from 2020, and despite what has happened with the pandemic and all of the ways that we've been challenged to adapt our business model to a virtual model, they kept up good work down there. Diane and Aaron really did a good job. You saw the data, over 1,700 applications for federal VA benefits, or claims, as we call them, filed in 2020. Their approval rating for those claims, we call the batting average, kind of using that baseball analogy, is 83%, which is fantastic. Our goal is 80% or higher. It's hard to be perfect, especially when there's so much goes into developing one of those claims, as many of you know. 83% is fantastic. And then the bottom line, that return on investment, is the VA payments, especially the VA disability compensation and pension payments, that go back into the pockets of veterans in Clark County as a result of the work that Vietnam Veterans of America is doing there. And that number is $2.2 million in VA. And this is just the disability, the compensation and pension payments, and the survivor's benefits. We're not actually capturing all the other stuff like, well, voc rehab, alcohol, veteran readiness for employment, and all those second and third order benefits that often come from that, such as clothing allowance or adaptive vehicle grants, or even the veteran uses their GI Bill home loan guarantee to buy a home, and the VA waives the funding fee because the veteran service connected, right? Saves them thousands of dollars, but it's not necessarily captured in these numbers. But this is the bread and butter of work that a veteran service officer does. It's VA disability claims, compensation, pension, survivors benefits, and related claims. Really hard to do given the pandemic and the fact that all of our partners have been kind of challenged to adapt their business practices to go to a virtual model, whether it's phone platforms like WebEx here, GoToMeeting, Zoom, etc. Mail, that, believe it or not, the good old-fashioned mail still works, and it's a valuable tool for some of our veteran service officers. But the results speak for themselves. Even though there was a decline in the number of claims filed, you guys see the increase from 2019 to 2020 in the payments that go to veterans and their family members, because that's a compounding figure, of course. Every month that veteran gets their disability payments, and meanwhile, Aaron and Diane are going on to help the next veteran. So a lot goes into that. I got some data just yesterday that I think you guys will appreciate. So last time that I presented to the Clark County Veterans Assistance well, Veterans Advisory Board, and I was down there at the Veterans Assistance Center. I was looking at some federal VA data that showed us that 22.6% of veterans in Clark County, it's 22.6%. Let me type that into the chat there. Of veterans in Clark County were receiving VA disability compensation or pension. So 22.6% were receiving VA disability compensation or pension. And that was in federal fiscal year 18. So that was a couple of years ago, a couple of 3 years ago. I just got the updated data yesterday on federal fiscal year 20, and it is 28.7%. That's 28.7% of veterans in Clark County are receiving VA disability, either compensation or pension payments. And that's a huge increase. That's a 5% increase in that 2-year period, which is greater than, statistical average. That puts Clark County on par with Washington State as a whole. Washington State as a whole is 29%. So there you go. You're 28.7 if you round it up to 29. Whereas 2 years ago, Clark County was about 3 percentage points behind the state average. So you can see the results and the outcome of the work that VBA, Aaron and Diane are doing down there, both in the dollars that are represented in the report, and in the fact that the percentage of veterans receiving disability increased 5 percentage points over the last 2 years. Now, we want to take credit for all of those claims. We know that it's not all a result of the work they're doing, but you better bet that a good part of that is a result of the work they're doing. And I wanted to share that data with you because we just got it yesterday, and I haven't even put it into a spreadsheet or a graph yet. That's how new that data is. With that said, I'll open it up for questions. If there's any questions or comments or anything else that folks would like to add to the discussion.
I was looking forward to seeing Erin with us today. I guess she didn't make it.
Yeah, unfortunately not. She did send me a message yesterday and said she wasn't able to make it. She was planning to. I think something came up.
So Steve, I'd like to say, this is Judy from the Clark County Veterans Assistance Center. I'd like to say that Diane and Aaron do a fabulous job, and we're so happy to have them there. They're quite an addition to the center, and we've been grateful to have them, and I see the value in the work that they're doing every day. So we're happy.
Thank you, Judy. I'd like to get down there and see you guys again sometime soon. Once it's safe to travel and some of the pandemic restrictions have been lifted, I'll be doing another site visit to come down and see you guys.
We'd love that.
Are there no other questions for Steve or no? No?
Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for stopping in. At least you didn't have to drive down, so. All right, moving right along. Do we have Zena Edwards on with us? I think I saw her earlier.
Here. Yeah.
Okay, you're up next. Talk to us about your pain management program, which I'm interested in. I have pain every day.
Okay, so thanks, Samantha. So the dates and times for upcoming workshops are up there. And thanks to Jim Jensen, we were able to get the word out at your last meeting, and then Samantha graciously accepted presentation offer. So I just wanted to share a little bit more about these programs. They're somewhat new to the area, so some people are wondering what they're all about. We do have 2 programs, a chronic pain and a chronic disease self-management. They're both evidence-based self-management programs, and they previously were offered and tested out of Stanford, and that group has moved, and now they call themselves the Self-Management Resource Center, which a lot of people know these as the Stanford programs. And a little bit on the history, the chronic pain self-management program is based on over 30 years of evidence. So it started off as an arthritis self-management program that was developed and tested by Dr. Kate Lorig with Stanford. It was actually her dissertation and was very successful. But as she was delivering the program and modifying it, they figured out that really you could deliver a self-management program that wasn't specific to arthritis, that it could be for chronic disease, it could be for chronic pain. It didn't have to be condition specific. So in the 1990s, they modified the program and developed this chronic disease self-management and saw increased healthful behaviors, increased health status, less healthcare utilization, which of course are all great things for providers and the community and the participants themselves. And then just a few years ago, they completely updated the chronic pain self-management program. So we're really lucky to be able to offer the chronic disease and the chronic pain through a partnership with the Southwest Washington Accountable Community of Health and also state DSHS. So I think it's a program that either yourself or somebody you know, I mean, I think of it as like, I don't know anybody who doesn't know someone who doesn't suffer from chronic pain or is living with a chronic condition, which chronic condition we would say is, you know, the typicals you think of: heart disease, diabetes, things like that, but then also mental health issues, breathing problems. So really any condition that people are struggling with or need to manage on a long-term basis. So some of the reasons why they know it works is it's a group process. It's really participatory. There's a lot of interaction. There are 2 co-leaders, but we're really there just to make sure things are running smoothly, to kind of set the stage for people to have interactions, and the mutual support and success that participants build on each other as far as sharing what they're doing and supporting each other is really key. So participants make a weekly action plan. That's a good part of the program. So it is a 2.5-hour workshop for 6 weeks, but that 2.5 hours goes pretty quickly, even over Zoom, with a 20-minute break, because there's so much interaction. And then, you know, everybody's sharing an action plan and providing feedback. So it's really, really key. So some of the skills people build, just techniques to deal with problems such as frustration, fatigue, isolation, poor sleep, appropriate exercise, appropriate use of medications, communicating effectively with family, friends, and health professionals, a little bit on nutrition, pacing, activity, and rest, and how to actually evaluate or look at new treatments and be self-aware about those. So this is just a sample of the Living a Healthy Life with Chronic Pain book. So gotten really great feedback on this. We don't cover everything that's in the book, but it's a really great resource. And it does now include an appendix on opioid tapering, which a lot of people are interested in these days, patients and providers, by Beth Darnell. And she's currently running the Stanford Pain Research Center. So just a little example of what an agenda might look like. So it's broken down into activities. And every closing, everybody makes an action plan. We always start off with everybody sharing their action plan from the week before and how things went. The chronic pain symptom cycle is shared. We use that as a regular chart to point out to people where you can break this cycle and where to use the tools. And by the end of the 6 weeks, we will have covered all of these pain management tools. So really helping people see that there's always different tools for different situations, and they learn how to leverage these tools to find some relief. And action plan, so very specific about how we do the action planning. And then also problem solving, because, you know, we all make plans, right? And then sometimes our plans don't go the way we wanted them to. So problem solving is also incorporated with participant input. And then brainstorming is a big part of that problem solving as well. Included is this modified exercise program. So there's modified on the left and the regular on the right. This is called the Moving Easy program. And normally when we're face-to-face, we would demonstrate this in class, but fortunately some people have made some online videos that we can use because it's a little hard to show all of the movements through a web camera. And then we get a lot of questions about, well, where's the place for the chronic pain self-management program? It could be an adjunct to medical opioid treatment. It could be a solution to non-opioid pain management if people want to go that route. Prepares people for pain management following surgery, reduces falls, can also help reduce the depression that leads to opioid use or maybe a result of that opioid use, either one. Just a little bit on the chronic pain self-management program. It was trialed with 2 groups of people taking prescription opioids, and they had a pretty high completion rate. They were paid to attend, so that may have helped. But they found it helpful for better eating and exercising and thought others should take it. And there's a big study being run right now with Stanford to test it a little bit further. And a little bit about their actual study protocol has been published. So for the chronic pain and chronic disease self-management programs, they're not the only answer. It's not meant to replace medical care or treatment, but it's really helping people utilize that a lot better and gain confidence in their ability to control their symptoms and help them really be active participants in their care. A lot of times people have gotten into the habit of maybe just sitting back or not knowing where to take action. So it really can be beneficial that way in helping people. And we were able to run a couple of these workshops last year through Zoom. Actually, we did 4 workshops, and now we're doing some follow-up surveys to ask people, well, what would you say to someone who's thinking about signing up for the workshop? People enjoyed the discussions and the planning part. Overall, it's a really helpful experience. Absolutely sign up. It gives interaction with others, great tips. It helps a ton. I'm so happy with it. Good resource, good to expose yourself to new ideas when you're having any pain, and definitely this is what we like to hear, right? Definitely a worthwhile program. So right now the program is, and then helping with difficult emotions. So right now the program is free of charge. Of course, there's a cost in attending, so to carve out that much time to attend, that's why we're really excited to see people do feel like it's worth their time to attend. So we do have a workshop starting next Tuesday. We would love to get some more people into that. And typically it's limited to 10 to 12 participants, and we have a whole schedule for the year. So that's really the exciting part about this, is we've trained a whole cohort of co-leaders, and we're able to get a lot of these workshops on the calendar and different times to meet different people's scheduling needs. So I think that's all I have here. So what questions do you have at this point, or information I could provide? You'll see, it's not the opioid task force, obviously, but it's the same presentation.
So I guess my question would be, like, what type of cost are we looking at for a program like this?
For somebody to attend?
I'm sorry?
For somebody to attend?
Yeah, yes. Mm-hmm.
It's
like the next.
It's completely free of charge right now.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah. So we have really generous funding through Swatch and then also through GSHS. And so we have all the supplies and everything ready to go. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity, and we'd love to see more people benefit from it to get the word out.
Anybody
And
else have questions?
This is John. Just a quick question. I'm sorry, where was the location of this training again?
Right now it's on Zoom because we're still on restrictions from COVID. So we do have, we do need to make sure people have internet access, and we get them set up with how to use the Zoom. We usually have a 0 session or one-on-one. If people have problems accessing the internet, because we found this an issue in more rural areas especially, we do have a phone option. So it meets with just a couple of participants and only one leader, and they would meet for an hour over the phone. And then there's a little bit higher burden on the participant, in that they'd have to do a little bit more reading and such, not as much interaction with the group.
Okay, and you said the current cost for veterans is 0. The cost is covered.
For anyone in the community is 0.
And
Yeah.
and then how do you sign up?
Pardon me?
How do you sign up for the training?
We have some flyers with the registration link on it, or people can just give me a call if they'd like to, or send me an email. So either
Okay,
way.
I'm looking at your card. Zena looks like _. I lost it now. Edwards at wsu.edu.
Yep.
Can you? Is there a chat box on this? If you could type that in the chat box, so I can copy and paste. I can't copy and paste or unless you can pass it on to Samantha to forward to everybody.
Yeah, we could do that.
I don't have the ability to copy and paste anything on the presentation. So
Okay.
thank you.
The other thing we could do is the flyers did go out last month, but I can get them to you. So Samantha, if I get you another copy of the flyers, would that work?
Okay, maybe I overlooked it. So Samantha, you already sent this out last month, is that right?
I can certainly send it again, no problem.
Well, I don't think you need to do that. I can go in my historical file and double check. And if I have a question, I'll call you up, Samantha. I don't want to put you to the trouble of sending that.
No. Yeah, no, it's not a problem.
All right, well, thank you very much.
But all the registration information is on the flyers.
So Zena, do we know if we've had, or have there been any veterans that have gone through the program that you're aware of?
You know, I don't know for sure. I do know that I have one signed up for the chronic pain starting next week.
Okay.
And
yeah,
I'm sorry, one more question. I'm sorry to hog the mic like this.
No, these are great. So I'm here.
So one other question. So this program is primarily for people that have experienced chronic pain. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we have there are 2 separate programs. The one we're really promoting right now is chronic pain, because it's starting next week, and we would really love to get the workshop filled up. So any kind of chronic pain, arthritis, back pain, hip pain, really joint pain. We have some people signed up who just kind of have nondescript chronic pain. And then for the chronic disease too, that, it's really any condition that people are struggling with or are living with on a long-term basis. So they've even added, chronic mental health conditions into that category, in addition to diabetes, cardiovascular disease, any of those types of things. So,
okay, Zena, I'll take a look at that flyer and I'll send you an email. And if it's within my schedule, I'll try to get scheduled. If it's not, I'll ask that you send me when a new class is coming up if I can't get in this one coming up.
Okay, that'd be great. We'd love to have you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
And John, it would be super helpful that if you do get in the class or any future class or whatever, that you bring your experiences back to the board, so that younger veterans are, how they are. But I think testimony is, I agree. It's a great offering and probably a great program. I mean, I have chronic pain. I just, pop a lot of Motrin. So, which is, at least I'm popping Motrin and not something else. But testimonies go a long way. We could get this into, at Clark College too, and get it through those student veteran channels. I'm sure you've done that at WSU, but they need to know what they're going to get out of it. And if it's free, they're all about free. And heck, if you gave them a free t-shirt, that would be even better. They'll do anything for a free t-shirt. It's amazing. But I do
I
think
didn't think about that. It should get some t-shirts made.
I couldn't get them to run 2 miles for physical fitness, but if I said, hey, there's a 5K or whatever, and you get a free t-shirt, they showed up in droves. So go figure. But it might be something you think of. They like trinkets. So John, just keep that in mind, if you would, please.
No problem, Kelly. So if I get in the class, I'll be happy to get a full report for the grade. So no problem.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Are there any other questions for Zena, or do you have anything else for us?
That's all I have.
No?
That's great. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
for your time. Yeah, no, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Well, we hope we get more involved. I might actually consider that as well. So, because all the tools you can have in your toolkit, they only help. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. All right. Thanks for coming and joining us today. Really appreciate it. All right. Who's next? Ooh, wow. We've got a whole host of self-care stuff today. We have Catherine online with us.
Yes, Catherine
Okay.
Allen. I go by Katie. Thank
Katie?
you.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry about that. I see that now on your slide.
That's okay. Thanks for letting me join with you guys. Thank you all for your service and what you do for our country. I love our veterans. I love our first responders. You guys are all heroes in my eyes. And so I'm a massage therapist and I do my fascial release. And my fascial release is essentially releasing trauma from the fascial system. The way this plays in, and Zena, I'm going to have to hook up with you. I loved your presentation.
Yeah, I was thinking that we can coordinate things.
We can coordinate, absolutely. So what my fascial release is that fascial sheath going around and innervating the muscles. That's pulling on our muscles and keeping them locked at 2,000 pounds per square inch, which is the weight of a smart car or the strength of a steel belted tire. And what happens is when you get stress, when you have trauma, stress alone will tighten the fascial system and the muscles as if it's been hit by a semi-truck. So pretty soon we just get all of this compacted, and then we get symptoms, fibromyalgia, post-traumatic stress disorder. We tend to veer toward the how can I numb the pain because nothing is working. So then we get into addictions, and it's just the spiral goes and it takes you downhill. And so my fascia release has been super effective, not only in my life, but in the clients that I get to work with every single day. I work at a chiropractor's office downtown, and I just opened my own business doing my fascia release based off of sliding scale donation only, specifically so this can be available for our veterans and first responders, those who need pain management but aren't getting, or they need something additional to what they're already getting. And so the Healing MFR, that is my own personal website. That's where you can find out a little bit more about the fascial system. I try to not go into the science of it because not everybody's a scientist. Not everybody can the H2O and the Z lines and that stuff doesn't matter. It's scientifically proven. It's a great way of pain management. And for me personally, I was driving a semi truck 10 years ago and T-boned by a drunk driver. The semi truck rolled, and I ended up in surgeries and PTSD for 7 years after the wreck. And then I started healing 7 years later when I found my fascia release therapy. And so I love working on every single human I can get my hands on. And I love giving it away because I love seeing people walk into my office with no hope and walk out saying, oh my God, I feel so much better. Oh my God, I'm not in pain. It's just miracles happen every single day on my table, and I'm so fortunate. So the Healing MFR, I'm offering this for donation based for our veterans and first responders, just to get the word out there. I'm not in it to be rich and make a whole lot of money. I'm in it so that I can heal other people and give other people hope. So I'm gonna open it up to any questions. You can contact me directly. The Healing MFR, it has my email address, it has my phone number on it. You can book online. Because I work at 2 different places, I can, if something's not available online, you can probably call me and I can get you into a different office pretty quickly. So I want just the word to get out there that there's hope and that you don't have to live a chronic life of pain. So.
Awesome, Katie. Thank you. I actually have read The Body Keeps Score. It's a fantastic book. I was blown away by his whole process. I mean, it really hit home for me and made a ton of sense. So I know I have a lot of friends that work in and around these fields, and they've all read that book. Seems to be it's almost like the Bible, I think. But I was super impressed with some of the things in it. Were like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And veterans just want things to make sense. They want to know why this trauma sticks with them. And I know that, you've heard that the trauma lives in the tissue. I mean, it's still in there. Why are you having panic attacks all these years when you see a semi truck, or if you've been in a crash, or a helicopter or airplane or whatever else? And it's just fascinating to me how this process can release that.
Yeah.
And help people really move past that deep embedded trauma. I mean, it's fascinating to me, and I think it's fantastic work. And I'm glad that you contacted Michael and offered this up, because there are a couple of people that I'm going to send your information to them.
Absolutely.
Whether they follow through or not, I can't force them to do that, but I'm going to highly recommend that they give it a try, because I think it's worthwhile. So I appreciate you bringing this to us and going the distance and helping out veterans and first responders, because if it's anybody that's experiencing trauma on a regular basis, it's all of those groups. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kelly. And you said something so key. The trauma is trapped in the tissue, and the mind fascia release releases that trauma from the tissue. So I love it being an integrative part of counseling and other therapies, acupuncture, talk therapy, because you do have to talk about it. And then you get that hands-on body work, which actually helps you process the trauma and helps you process it in a safe manner. And it's so key. Once that trauma is released, you have weights lifted off of your body, and then you can function properly again. I just worked with a young 24-year-old girl who is bipolar schizophrenic, and she started taking meds and she started hearing things and seeing things. And I worked on her for 3 weeks in a row, just an hour, right? 3 weeks in a row. And I asked her how she was doing, and she's getting counseling and taking her meds. And she's like, since day one, I stopped hearing and seeing things.
Wow.
It's just amazing. And I'm honored, and I want people to know more about it. So, you know, we can all explain the science, but you can't explain a experience. An experience is so much better. So
True. I mean, and everybody's experiences are very varied and different. But I mean, you know, I don't understand all the science behind it, but it makes perfect sense to me because, you know, the body and especially the brain, I mean, it's an amazing thing. And I mean, you know, we're all sitting hunched up like this all day long. And why wouldn't all of this stress and trauma or whatever live deep within inside the body and the muscles and everything else? So, I mean, it all makes perfect sense. So, bravo.
well, I cannot wait to see some of y'all on my table.
Hell, it may be me. You never know.
I look forward to it, Kelly.
I live with a stress of everything, so it's like I pop a little Motrin, I drink these coconut drinks, and I eat a lot of chocolate.
Absolutely. That's all good.
Oh, all right. Anybody else have any questions? No? All right, Katie, appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
We're gonna be referring people, and we may refer ourselves. So be prepared.
Absolutely.
You probably open the floodgate.
Let the things come. Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got next? Committee reports. Mr. Gibson, are you still online with us? I see him. Mike? Hello? Oh, okay. And we don't have Tanya online either, but we all know that our policies and procedures updates were approved by the county legislature, so we're good to go. That should allow the center a little bit more leeway in doing their job through this pandemic, which we hope is very quickly going to come to a point where we can all gather again in the same room, with or without masks. I don't care. So I'm just ready to get my vaccine and start rolling. So we'll assume that there were no appeals that Mike needs to discuss as well.
Can you hear me?
Oh, Harry, now you want to join us. Okay.
Those for last month.
No appeals? There you go. All right. We're doing good then. All right. So Samantha, you're up.
Okay, well, I sent out the January report along with the meeting information. So you had this previously. In summary, the Assistance Center saw 33 veterans in January and spent $33,595 on assistance for these households. There were 31 men, 4 women veterans that were seen at the center. There were 119 visits for essentials and food. That includes 110 meals that were served by the center, and they had 254 volunteer hours at a value of $6,284 in January. The free clinic didn't actually see any veterans in January. They did have a staff and supplies billing for $649. And Judy asked me to talk to the free clinic about adding hygiene services for veterans. They don't currently cover cleanings. They're going to look into that to see if they can provide that to have a little bit additional dental care. And then our fund balance at the end of January was $727,258. This includes a tiny bit of revenue in January of $1,838 and a small amount of expenses, $2,888. If anybody has any questions?
Yeah,
That's all my
Samantha.
report.
Yeah, Samantha, there was some talk a couple of years back about seeing if we could get dental cleanings covered under the free dental clinic because gum disease and infections are something that really can bother people if it's not taken care of in a timely manner.
Yeah, sure. And now that they have the new program manager, I thought it might be a good time to look at some changes and any updates that we can make to the program as we get these new people managing it for us.
Oh, I totally agree with that. I mean, your teeth and gum, I mean, that affects your whole body. So, I mean, I think that would be fantastic if we could get something like that in place. So, all right. Nobody have any other questions for Samantha? No? All right. Veterans Assistance Center update. Judy or Sharon or whichever one of you is going to take that, go right ahead.
All right, I'm here. So the county has gotten some CARES money for housing and utilities, and the fund is hoping to get in on some of that money. We will have to replace Athena. Athena was our HVSF person that was handling our housing program, and she moved to Hawaii. So we are going to be looking for a part-time, full-time CSO to help if we get this new contract with the county for the housing and utilities. We'll let you know more about that as we get details on it, but it's a substantial amount of money. We have a new program. It's called Operation Home Rescue. Basically, it's through TMG Cares, which is the management group. They came to us and said, "Hey, we have a team who does home repair, and we would like to partner with you guys and have you vet the veterans that want or need this kind of a program." So basically it would provide with landscaping, some home exterior cleanup, minor exterior repairs, ADA accessibility items, and small interior repairs. The requirements would be that the applicant would be 55 years or older. They would be an honorably discharged veteran. They would own and live at the property where the services would be done, and that property would have to be in Clark County. And they would be at or below 80% of the median family income for Clark County. The home could not be a rental property, a duplex, or a mobile home. And I will send this application and this overview to Sam, and she can send it out to all of you. But I think that they're going to do this twice a year, and they're going to start immediately allowing us to gather names to submit to them for this assistance. They want to do their first project in May. So we have a couple of months to gather names and information on people who do need these kind of repairs. The third thing is that we are getting ready to have an online auction because we didn't get to do any fundraising this year. We do have lots of items, mostly baskets, that we're going to do an online auction starting on April 1st through the 10th. That website is going to be emailed to all of our contacts, and we'll have Sam email it to all of you on March 15th. That's when the site will become live, is on March 15th. And you'll be able to register and bid on them starting April 1st through the 10th. So I think that's all I have at this moment. Again, if anyone knows of any veteran who is looking for part-time or full-time work as a CSO, we will need to replace Athena. So let us know. We're looking for someone who fits in with all of us and who is a veteran that wants to serve other veterans, and basically they need to be calm because the job is stressful, and it takes someone, it takes a certain type of personality to do that work. You almost have to be a calm person. So if you know anybody that fits in that profile, let us know, and we would happily take their information.
Do you have any kind of job description, Judy, or no? Just those requirements?
Well, just those requirements as far as the job description. Basically, what they do is they gather the paperwork from the veteran. They make sure that they're honorably discharged. They make sure that they're a Clark County resident. They make sure that they fall within the income. And right now, all the work is being done over email or the phone, unless the veteran comes to the door and drops off the paperwork. But eventually, it will be sitting across the desk from that veteran. And the reason I said they need to be calm is because a lot of times that veteran is in distress and they're crying, they're upset, or they're mad. And so if we have a calm CSO, when you're sitting across the desk, you can calm them down and let them know that we're there to help them. I mean, that's our whole job, is we want to help them in every way we can. And we try to not let any veteran leave there without help in some context. I mean, either we help them, or we use one of our other programs to help them, or we refer them to someone who can help them. We try to never let a veteran leave there empty-handed without some sort of resource or help. And the CSO, their job, even though it sounds easy, it's not an easy job. It's stressful at times. You have to be sometimes a parent, sometimes a babysitter, sometimes a drill sergeant. I mean, it depends on who the veteran is and how they respond. So it takes a special person. We're lucky to have the crew that we have right now.
Well, how nice for Athena to get to move to Hawaii. That's awesome.
I know it is.
Yeah. I mean, I hate that she's gone, but, you know, good for her.
Yeah, we miss her. We definitely miss her, but,
wow.
You know.
Okay. Well, let's get the word out. Let's see if we can find somebody that would fit the bill here, because this is not a program that we can afford to have. You know, we have to maintain momentum, I guess is the way to put it, because if it just kind of dies on the vine here for a little bit, it's awful hard to get it back up and going again. Once you've got momentum, you got to keep on top of it with your contacts and everything else. So
that's right.
Okay.
Also, everybody sign up for that auction. Got some good stuff there.
Oh, I plan on it. I better not be outbid on the things that I want. You all hear that?
I already signed up today, so.
Oh, well, we don't have the link yet. That's not fair.
I had to test it and make sure we could really use the link.
Oh, of course you did. Well, I think we decided the 2 items I have we're going to save for an in-person deal. So
yes.
Sharon and I came to that conclusion. So
absolutely, Kelly. I think they'll go for more if people can actually see them.
Yeah, I agree. And hopefully it'll just give us another opportunity to bring some money in. So it's all good.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you, Judy.
Hey, Kelly.
Yes.
I had my Facebook Live going just a minute ago because Governor Inslee is speaking, and he is moving every county into phase 3 on March 22nd.
Yay.
So just an update.
That's a good update. Now if the VA would only call me for my vaccine, we'd be better off. So, okay, that's good news though. Sweet.
Hey, Judy, before you go. Judy? Did she sneak off?
Yes, I'm here, Michael.
Okay, good. Could you please give a little bit more information about the TMG project?
Yes, I'm going to send you all the information through Samantha.
Okay, because I had a veteran call me not that long ago. It sounds like he would be an ideal fit because
Yeah, I will. I'll send the overview and the application to Sam, and she can send it out to everyone.
okay, all right, thank
I'll
you.
do that tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Judy, also related to that, do you know about how many homes they're expecting to be able to repair?
Well, they said submit as many as we want, and they will pick them, which ones they're able to do. But I think they're expecting to be able to do 4 to 6 households a couple times a year, depending on the scope of the project. Maybe more than that, maybe less, depending on how many people they have to do it and how long it takes and how big the project is. I'll be sending you this application and overview tomorrow, Sam, so you can send it out.
Yeah, I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else have anything for Judy or Sharon or? No? All right, any old business we need to tend to? I don't think so. New business? And how about an open forum? Anybody have anything they want to share?
Madam Chair, I have something just for you in particular.
Okay.
Did you hear about the counter that quit his job? It broke out.
Oh! For those of you who are guests today, Michael is our vice chair and our resident bad dad joke guy. So I am amused daily by his Facebook timeline. So yeah, that's his gig, and we like it. So if you don't like bad dad jokes, then just tune out.
Madam Chair, if I could just add something really briefly here, just to let everybody get an idea of what I'm talking about here. So as many of you know, a lot of our military members are out on deployment, whether it's regardless of what service you are, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, what have you. I have been reading on social media that family members who are deployed overseas and have a family member who has passed away from COVID-19, in some cases, they can't get away from the mission that they're doing overseas. And when they rotate back home, as like the Nimitz did, being out on a 10-month deployment, family members are now starting to come home and realize that they received word while they were deployed that a family member passed away from COVID-19. And when they were going to come home, they were expecting to do socialization with this family member. But like I said, unfortunately, due to the problems of COVID-19 taking lives, there are some people right now that I know of that are really down and out because they lost a loved one while they were deployed and hoping to come home and see them. And for them to be not there anymore it's just kind of a sad situation. So let's keep in mind for our active duty military and for those who are on deployment and are coming back home after they've received word of a family member passing away from COVID-19, let's show our support. Let's give them their backs and say, hey, everything's fine, everything's okay. We're here for you. So let's just keep that at our thoughts and prayers for those family members who may have lost someone due to COVID-19 and the illness. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Thanks, Bruce.
I have
I'm
something.
sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so there is a website that has a lot of good information about the local Portland VA and surrounding clinics. The website is www.portland.va.gov. Everybody knows www.va.gov. All you got to do is insert the word Portland between www and .va.gov, and you will get all the information you need about maybe getting your COVID vaccination shot. There's a lot of information about that, and who not to call, and how to contact them, how to find out when you can get your shot. And then also, if you go to that same website and put a slash at the end and add the word services and another slash and then whole underline health.asp, you will get a whole series of healthcare classes or whole health classes a wealth of information. A lot of these classes are all conducted virtually, and I'm attending a few of them. They are absolutely fantastic classes to help you with your goals, your mental state, and helping with a bunch of things. So I would encourage you to sign up for some of these classes. And then finally, there's also, for those like the physical part of it, like Tai Chi, yoga, and there's isometrics, and one other thing. At the bottom of that www.portland.va.gov, at the very bottom, they have a list of events. And if you click on show more events, they'll list all the virtual classes coming up if you want to maybe improve your physical activity. So I wish unfortunately I hit a button and I got a screen that I'm afraid if I hit the back button, I'll probably disconnect from the conference, from this WebEx. So unfortunately, I'm not able to type it in the chat, the website address in the chat box, but they're easy to remember if you want to check on those classes. I encourage you to do so. And if you have time, please do sign up for it. Thanks.
Thanks, John. If you just do a reply all on the on Samantha's email, then you could send those links out to everybody. But I agree. I mean, whole health, that's something the VA did not do in the beginning when I certainly started going to the VA. They've gone to this whole health concept now. I have a good friend that runs the weight management program underneath that umbrella. And that's part of my frustration in trying to find out why we can't get more veterans referred to Windhaven for the equine therapy. So they've streamlined it, but they've also made it a little bit more challenging. But the VA has so much going on now. They have so much to offer, and I would encourage everybody to go out to portland.va.gov. I mean, if you just go to va.gov, you can search for your facility. If you go to Westland or you go to Vancouver, wherever, all the facilities, have their own link on there and what's going on. The COVID information is right on the main page. That's where I check it. And that's how I found out they're now down to 55 plus instead of 62 plus and over. So, you can sign up for these things to be notified. So the VA has done a much better job at providing these types of classes and different things. So, if you don't want to take advantage of it, maybe you know somebody who does and you can refer them. And is Katie still on the line? Yes, she is. Katie, if you have not, I would highly encourage you to look up the Returning Veterans Project, unless you're already familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you or are you not?
I am not familiar, but you did look it up.
Okay, it is a nonprofit in Portland, and it services Southwest Washington. And what they do is they ask for clinicians and providers to join their program so they can provide pro bono services to veterans.
Yeah, okay.
So it's called Returning Veterans Project. If you just Google it, it'll bring their website right up for you. And then as a provider, it will kind of tell you what you need to do to sign up, or if you want to inquire or get more information. That would be another great way for you to get veteran patients, because I know that for counseling and different things, a lot of the younger veterans will not go to the VA mental health, but they will go through RVP to get to a counselor. So just some things to think about. Not everybody uses VA. Not everybody is a fan of VA, and I get it, to each their own. I get 100% of my health care there. So, but that's another avenue that I would really, really encourage you to at least consider.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Madam Chair, can I touch on something real quick?
Sure.
Part of the things that I do in servicing the community is I volunteer with the American Red Cross Services to the Armed Forces. And what that does is for, if you're stationed or deployed elsewhere and an event happens or something happens back home, the family's instructed to contact the Red Cross. Well, what I do, the portion that I do is the follow-up. And I will say that Bruce is absolutely correct that some service members are being denied permission from the commanders to return home. But the messages do go out. The command is notified, and what the command does with that information, I can't speak of, but I can attest that the messages do go out, and notification is attempted. But things have improved since this time last year, because last year at the beginning of this pandemic, you know, when the world was uncertain as to anything about it, then there was a lot of denials. But it has improved quite drastically, the approval rate for leave. But if they're on a vessel and they're deployed in the middle of the ocean somewhere, then it's highly unlikely that they'll be released to come home. But if they're just stationed somewhere, then usually they're allowed to return home to attend the services of a loved one. But thank you, Bruce, for bringing that up, because that is accurate.
Thanks, Mike. I wanted to get that out today for everyone. Thanks.
Well, you know, I totally agree with, I mean, you know, I had friends when I was deployed that they couldn't, you know, come out of theater to come back home for various different reasons. And that does take a mental toll, because then you're not sure what kind of mindset they're in to, you know, complete their mission. But I think we also need to make sure that because of this pandemic, that we are paying attention to our veterans in the community, especially the older ones or the ones that have been more isolated. Somehow, some way, we need to just make sure that we're reaching out to make sure they're okay, and to make sure they have resources, or they're referred to resources, or that we can do whatever we need to do for them. I know we've said that a couple of times here, but I just think it needs to be reiterated until we get to the end of this, where people can see their grandchildren or children again. I mean, you know, this is taking a tremendous emotional toll on people, especially our older veterans who have not been able to have contact with their family members. So I think that's something we need to be keenly aware of. And what can we do as a group of fellow veterans to reach out and help? Can the service organizations, you know, do something? Do we get a phone tree or what? You know, I don't know, but I just know I check in on my peeps. I have people that check in on me, and I just think that, you know, we would be remiss if we didn't do the same thing throughout the county, and just making sure that everybody is doing okay.
Well said. Well said.
All right. Anything else for the group?
I do. This is Tanya. Sorry I had to join a little bit late today. I had a meeting.
Hey.
Hi everybody. I'm looking, I have a veteran, and I already asked CVAC, Judy, thank you for getting back to me so quickly, but I have a veteran who needs help paying for his hotel. He's been staying there quite a while. He's got him down to $1,200 a month, only $300 a week. That's cheaper than my apartment, but his unemployment has been stopped for some reason, so he can't pay it. So I'm just looking if anybody out there knows of an organization that can help pay 1 week, 2 weeks, whatever it is. Because I guess CVAC can't pay it because it's a hotel. Judy sent me an email explaining. So, yeah.
Hey, Tanya, this is Michael Harding.
Hi, Michael.
Have the veteran contact me.
Okay. And can you email me like your information, or you can just say your phone number, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, I don't care if everyone
Okay.
has it. It's 360 609 1775.
1775. Okay, I'll give that to him. I'm sure I'll be calling you tonight.
Yeah, I'm the service officer for the VFW post here in Vancouver. And
Oh, right,
so
so
I can
24,
I can talk to the commander. Well, and when I say service officer, don't confuse what I do with what Judy and all those wonderful people do down at
Right.
the Veterans
Yeah.
Assistance Center.
Right.
You know, but I can talk to the commander and see what's going on. I see if he would approve, because, you know, it's a joint decision between myself and the commander as to whether or not we provide relief to someone.
Right. No, absolutely. I'll have him give you guys a call after I get off this meeting. I will call and let him know.
All right. Thank
you so much, Michael.
And if, you know, if that is not viable, or they've only got so much, what about SSVF? Contacting them.
I will try. I didn't know that they could pay for that.
Oh, I think they do pay for hotels.
Yeah, Scott Coker, I'll contact him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? No?
This is Senna. I put my email address in the chat, and then also the link to register for the workshops.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Everybody can see that in chat, hopefully. Otherwise, Samantha did send out, I think, the pain management forms twice, if I'm not mistaken. So check those if you can't copy it off here or the chat or whatever. Zena's information is on those flyers as well, so you should be able to see that. Anything else? How about a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
This John, I second the motion.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I also sent the link out, by the way, to everybody.
All of those not in favor?
Now,
Michael?
Madam Chair, keeping with the fine tradition that I have established for about a year and a half now, I will be the lone dissenting voice that we adjourn because I enjoy everyone's company so much that I oppose adjourning.
Okay, duly noted.
But then again, I do have to go to the restroom, so yes, we should
right.
probably end it.
Go take care of that.
Too much info. Too much info.
All right, here we go. And Samantha, we'll stay online for a little bit. All right.